Hi, this is Kerrie. Welcome back to another installment of Art is Healing, where today we are going to be making healing rocks. So the materials that you will need for this activity are rocks. You can go to different locations to find different types of rocks. If you're out in nature and you just enjoy walking or going to parks, you can find different rocks on the ground. If you have rocks out in your front yard, you can go ahead and go pick a few of those that look nice, or if you're stopping off at any garden supply store or Menards, you can look for rocks there. The goal is to try to look for rocks that have different shapes, textures, and different kind of surfaces. So I have a few that are more rougher, a few that are smoother. There's a few on the table that I have here that are different kinds of shapes. You want a variety of bigger and smaller rocks. Second, you are going to need some type of paint. I recommend using acrylic paint. This is because if you're going to be painting rocks and keeping them outside, if you use just a watercolor paint, unfortunately, if the rain comes, it's going to end up washing off your design. So any kind of acrylic paint, you could pick it up at the dollar store, Walmart, or any craft supply store. Some other things that you might want to look into, you could use hot glue guns, puff balls, feathers, different letters. These would probably be better for inside rocks rather than outside rocks because of the glue and everything you're putting on there. And then you're also going to need some brushes. I recommend using different types of brushes as far as the different tips. So you want some that are bigger and some that are smaller to get more detailed. The last thing that I'm going to recommend that you pick up is a type of clear coat to kind of seal the rocks when you're done. This is just a Rust-Oleum matte clear spray paint. I would recommend the matte coating so it's not so glossy or shiny. So you can pick this up Walmart or any hardware store. One thing that I enjoy doing for my different healing rocks is writing different inspirational quotes or messages or even words that I like. So what you want to do, depending on if you wanted a thicker or a thinner kind of paint, you can definitely adjust. I feel like it's up to your interpretation of how you want to go ahead and complete your project. There's something very mindful too sometimes about just letting your creativity kind of flow, not really thinking too much into it. One thing that I like to use too are these little puffy paints because it's easier to kind of write letters and maybe do detailed pictures as well. And because it's up for interpretation, there is no right or wrong. If something happens and you don't like how something looks or you feel like you had messed it up, you can always take the paintbrush and kind of make it more of like a watercolor-esque or a tie-dyed-esque look. It does not have to be perfect. That's one thing about individual expression. Perfection doesn't matter. It's not a component. For this one here, I'm gonna do kind of a like an all over paint. So the easiest way to do this, paper plates, any, even paper towels sometimes, just something to put your paint on. And you can go ahead and just put different blobs on there. And then, like I said, the different brushes, one thing I've noticed is these foam brushes here. They do really well for more of an all-over painting. You want to make sure that you kind of squeegee out a lot of the water though, so that the paint goes on a little bit thicker. So you get an all-over color. One thing that you can do in order to speed up the drying process, especially in between layers of colors, is use a hair dryer. Sometimes I'll grab my hair dryer out and kind of just dry it. It speeds up the time. You don't have colors that blend, and you can kind of get the project done a little bit faster. So you're going to want to wait until your rocks are dry in order to apply the matte clear coat. So I'm going to leave the ones I just created sit, but I'm going to go ahead and seal the up rock here. So what you're going to do is just shake your spray paint, make sure you pop the lid off, and you're just going to apply a thin clear coat to it. And you're going to wait for that to dry. If you'd like, you can flip the rocks over, seal the bottom as well. You can also decorate or paint the bottom if you want. It's all up to you and your interpretation. So one fun thing that you can do with these rocks, if you go to Kankakee County Rocks on Facebook, there is a group that, paints and decorates different rocks. So what you can do on the back of your rock is write "Find, Post, Rehide" #K3Rocks. You can hide them throughout the county. It's kind of like a little mini treasure hunt where you look and see all the different creations. And then once you find a creation, you can post there on the Facebook page. So one thing I'm going to do is I'm going to be hiding this rock here outside our agency. And if you find it, feel free to repost in that Kankakee Rocks. Thank you so much for joining us this week for our Art is Healing. I hope you enjoy making the healing rocks. If you do some creations, feel free to share them on our Facebook page, and I hope everyone has a great week. Stay tuned next week for our next installment.